Alright everyone, we're going to pick up where we left off in the last video. Again, it was just mainly the first video, the last one that we looked at was just mainly just knowing where to find some of this information and do a little setup in Microsoft Excel. So when you take a look at your submission form, we haven't done anything yet that gets you an answer for activity 1.1.4, targeting success using data. So this video we're going to look at answering this first prompt, which is record your measured device error from the activity, and they specify this is from step 10. So here's actually what we're going to do. So there's going to be a couple pieces of information we're going to need. So I'm going to go ahead and move. I'm on It's Your Turn, but I'm going to go ahead and go to activity 1.1.4. So we went through in the last video, we copied that formula. And the other thing too is as we scroll down, I'm going to go ahead and skip number 9. So number 10 is doing the measured error. So one thing you'll find, whatever team's data, so I had these open from earlier, just kind of looking at them. So we have 5 teams data points, and I'm using team 1 data. So we want to go through and pull a couple of pieces of information. One is going to be where exactly is the center of our data. So here's what they did is they went through, they took a long piece of string, they tried to form the smallest circle you could around the data points and encompassed all the data points within a circle. And it says it's not likely to be centered at the origin. So when you look at this data, here's the center of it, and then here you can see where they kind of went through and encompassed all the data points. So what we're going to look at is where's the center of this circle at. So the center of the circle, when you kind of take a look at it, is on the x-coordinate, it's a -5. And then it looks to be at about a 2.5. So on the y-coordinate, positive 2.5 there. So I'm going to go ahead and move into our spreadsheet. And down here, I'm going to leave a row of space here. I want to locate what is the, so again, our heading is this is the x-coordinate and we have the y-coordinate. So my x-coordinate was a -5, and then my y-coordinate was a positive 2.5. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, here's the estimated center of the circle. And we're going to put this into coordinate notation. So -5, 2.5 will be what we have there. Let me go ahead and double click inside here. Let me space these out a little bit better. So this would be our ordered pair for our particular circle. Now the question is what is going to be the measured error? So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of a label here. Let me go ahead and do a right align on these. That way it kind of works a little bit better. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to use that same kind of square root kind of distance formula that we did from before, but this time we're going to go ahead and we're going to utilize this in the measured error. So again, you can always copy this, or I'm gonna go ahead and type it in. So I'm gonna double click inside the cell, press the equal sign. Equals, we always need to start off anytime we write a formula when you start off with equals. SQRT is for the square root. I'm gonna go ahead and double click on that, so that way it sets the formula in. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make sure it's got double parenthesis, left parenthesis. We're gonna choose A28, which is our x-coordinate, -0 because we want the center to be 0, 0. And I'm going to use the caret symbol. So that's found by using the shift number 6. So raise to the second, and then plus. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do another left parenthesis. I'm going to choose the y-coordinate, 2.5, -0. And then I'm going to go ahead and raise that to the second. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to encompass all of this in the last, and with a right parenthesis. So you can see we have two left parentheses here. We've got one there, and we got one at the end. So once I hit enter, that's going to give me my measured error. So of how much error do I have? So obviously a larger error is going to go through and mean that you have, you're not very accurate, and then a smaller one would go through and indicate that you have a smaller amount of error. So larger the number, larger the error, and you can compare different data and teams based upon those values. So right now for your submission form, it says record your measured device error in there. So that's what we're looking for, the measured device error that we just calculated. Screenshot that, put that into the text box, and then you're able to now, this will end this first video on that prompt, and now we can take a look at the next video to see what's the calculated device error.